All right, we have an update for you on the current coronavirus crisis across the United States. Let's start with the new number of cases, the current number of cases in the United States. This is from the New York Times. So as of today, 43,499 cases here domestically in the United States, 537 deaths. That's an uptick from yesterday. New York State alone announced 5,700 new cases on Monday, and 20,875 cases in the United States, Krystal, are in the state of New York alone. Wow. So over half of the confirmed cases in the U.S. in the state of New York, and the city of New York just getting absolutely hammered right now in terms of their hospital capacity. There are photos online now of people waiting to get into the ER, so it's not a great situation.
No, that has really become the epicenter of the crisis. And we also see, look, these numbers continue to escalate nationwide quite rapidly. Yesterday, we told you we were at 35,000, and today we're at, 43,000. So they keep continuing to jump up. Keep in mind, part of this is also just now we're starting to test people more. Right. So we're starting to wrap our arms more around how many people actually have it. So the numbers can be misleading in a sense. But it is a reminder that we are far from that place where the curve is flattened. We have not reached that situation at this point. We are just starting to have the measures in place that would hopefully flatten the curve over the coming days and weeks, but we are not there yet.
No, we're not.
And in additional news here, and this was looking pretty much like an inevitability, the Olympics has been postponed. The Summer Olympics will be moved 1 year. Prime Minister Shinzo Abe asked the Olympic Committee for that postponement. They said absolutely. This has been one of the things, Saagar, that people have been watching for from the beginning of this crisis. Obviously, massive undertaking. Elite athletes train for this for years to get ready for this date, and that's going to be moved back all year because, as you point out, many of them can't train.
No, they literally can't
travel. You can't take that risk of all those fans and everybody congregating in one place. It could have been an absolute disaster.
It wasn't a responsible move. I'm glad that they moved it, and I'm glad that they didn't try to do the whole let's move it by 6 months. No, do it a whole year. Let's give us a year to figure this out, and we'll get back to the games. So that is something. I mean, it's sad. I really love the Olympics. Actually,
yeah, so. I mean, a lot of ways that life is being upended. Yesterday in Virginia, my home state, and a couple other states as well, they announced that's it for the academic school year. So people who are graduating this year, that means no senior prom, that means no yearbook signing, that means maybe no, walking across the stage, at least for now. So just another way that life is really being upended by all of this.
And then an update for everybody. As of right now, things are moving very, very fast. So Nancy Pelosi has signaled openness to the Senate version of a bill. We don't have all the details on that bill, but a White House official who's talking to reporters is saying to PBS News' Yamiche Alcindor that they confirmed that Secretary Mnuchin has agreed to, quote, significant oversight over the $500 billion in the corporate, the slush fund is what it was being called. So it looks like they're going to include the TARP provisions that we had talked about originally, which is that originally TARP had an inspector general, a lot of oversight, a board of experts that were on the advisory committee for all of this. Ultimately, though, it's still shameful. It's shameful that they weren't able to pass this bill, that this is what was holding it up, and that Americans are not getting paid money in their pockets right now. If it takes 2 weeks to get a check, we're already missing that first rent due period, and that's already a disaster.
Look, let's be completely clear. Good to get some money out to American people. This initial bill is wholly insufficient. And we will be continuing to push for people to do more, because what have we been talking about here? People don't just need this first cash infusion. They need predictability so that they know that next month they're going to be able to pay their bills. And $1,200 for people who have lost their jobs and are trying to pay their rent and their car notes and the daily expenses of living. It's not a lot.
No, it's certainly not. And then final news item I actually wanted to bring to everybody. This just broke. The Trump administration has invoked the Defense Production Act for the production of test kits.
About time.
So it's about time. Glad that happened. We need to massively ramp up testing in this country. Both A, we need to start with the healthcare facilities, and B, we need to get to the point where anybody can get tested.
That's exactly right, because ultimately that's the only way that this ends, knowing who has it, who doesn't have it, and being able to quarantine those individuals who test positive, trace their social contacts, be able to isolate them until the virus is killed. That's the only way we can start getting back to work and getting things back to normal.
Exactly. So
all right.
We'll have more for you tomorrow with another crisis update, and we'll have more Rising for you right after this.